love about the Fun with Fuelings videos is that it gives me an opportunity to be a little bit creative, and I love to be creative in the kitchen. And it also allows me to take some of those feelings that I'm not so crazy about, or you might not be so crazy about, and find a way to make them so that they taste a little bit better, so that I'm not wasting those feelings and I can still get that nutrition in that I need to have on my weight loss journey. So join me today as I have some more fun with Fuelings. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Elizabeth, and I am living in the light by documenting my weight loss journey, and I'm using Optavia's 5-in-1 program. So far, I have lost almost 95 pounds. I should be hitting that 95-pound mark tomorrow when I weigh again. So that's really exciting for me. But 95 pounds means I've been on the program for a long time, actually 252 days today. So it's a long time to be eating the same things. Fortunately, there is a wide variety, but I like to take these Fuelings and mix them up just so that I'm not eating pudding every time, but I use that pudding in a way that is different so that I can enjoy it in multiple different ways. So what I'm taking this time, not pudding, I'm taking the Smoky BBQ Crunchers. Now these crunchers, they have Smoky BBQ Crunchers, they've got a jalapeno cheddar popper, they have an Italian herb and cheddar cruncher. Those, they tend to be a little dry, and so you've got to drink a lot of water when you're making them. And I don't mind them. They're a great snack, like a fueling if I'm in the car and I'm driving, and it just kind of helps to pass the time. But I'm not super crazy about them. So what I'm going to do is I am going to make waffle fries, seasoned waffle fries. How does that sound? And I am going to use my Dash Mini waffle maker. I'm also going to use my little handy chopper. I could do this in the NutriBullet. I've done it that way. You could do it in a blender. You could do it in a spice grinder. These actually work really well just in a small food processor. So I'm going to dump these into the food processor, and then I'm going to mix that together with the roasted garlic mashed potatoes. And I'm gonna let it sit for about 10 minutes and hydrate a little bit. And then I'm gonna make some waffles, and then I'm gonna air fry them into waffle fries. So the first step is to take the Smoky BBQ Crunchers. I've done this, actually I have a mixture sitting here that's already hydrated. That is the Smoky BBQ Crunchers. Nope, not the Smoky BBQ. This is the jalapeno cheddar poppers and the potatoes. So that's gonna be ready to go right away. So I'm gonna let this hydrate while I show you how I make those. So I'm gonna just take these and dump these into my little handy chopper. And it fills it up really well. So you can use a big food processor, but I'm not gonna get my big food processor out just for this. So I'm gonna grind these up just back into a powder, and then I will be back to show you the next step. So I've mixed these up. I just had another great idea too while I was, when you take a smell of this, it smells like barbecue chips. So I could actually do this and do it in my bagel pan. I have one of those bagel pans or donut pan. So I could do that and make those really crisp. So I might do that with these to make them more like barbecue chips. And then I'm gonna waffle the jalapeno cheddar popper. So I think I might do these two ways in this video. That will be good. That way you can see two different ways to do the same type of thing, and you can choose to do it however you want. So I'm gonna get all of this mixture out. Pretty much all of it out. And then I'm gonna dump in the potatoes. And this, because they both are really in need of hydration, the potatoes especially. Normally you mix the potatoes with a half a cup of water. And so that's all I'm going to use, because I don't want this to be runny at all. I want it to be a little bit thicker. I want it runny at first, because I want enough water to hydrate, but I want the mixture to be a little bit thicker. So let's see, I'm gonna put in 8 tablespoons of water, that's half a cup. I'm just gonna mix this up until it is thoroughly combined. And because I am mixing two Fuelings together, I want to make sure that I have two Fuelings when I'm done. So this will actually turn into whatever I have as far as the bagel chips. I'll just divide that in half. I'm actually going to add more water to this because it is really thick right now. So I'm gonna put another 4 tablespoons in because I did find when I did just the potatoes as bagel chips, and I've shown you that before, I did want to have the mixture a little bit runny. It just helped to have it a little bit more smooth. So I'm gonna let this sit for a little bit while I show you how to waffle the mixture that I made with I made this one with the jalapeno cheddar poppers and the potatoes. So I'm gonna do half of the mixture and I'm gonna kind of eyeball it, which you can, I should have thought to weigh it, but I'm gonna do about half of the mixture in my waffle maker. I can always weigh the waffles when I'm done to make sure that I've got waffles that are about the same size. So I've got half the mixture in there, maybe a little bit more. And then I'm gonna just close the lid. I'm not gonna press down on it. It will expand a little bit, and I'm gonna let this go for about 5 minutes. What you want is not just to have the light go out, but you want all of the steaming to stop. So the water is going to evaporate, and that's going to help to make sure that the outside is crispy and the inside is completely done. You also want to make sure that when you go to lift the lid, that you're really gentle. Don't pull real hard. If it resists, then it's not done yet. So give it another minute or two and then try it again. Once it is really crispy, it will release from the waffle iron part. So I'm gonna let this go for 5 minutes and then I'm gonna come back and show this to you. In the meantime, I'm gonna preheat my oven to 425 to do my barbecue potato chips. While my last potato waffle finishes cooking, I'm gonna go ahead and do my barbecue potato chips. And so this has been sitting here for quite a while. I did add another 4 tablespoons of water. This actually has a cup of water in it. And it really needed it because you want them to be a little bit on the runny side. And I find doing this with a spoon, like a big tablespoon, and just dumping 1 tablespoon of the mixture. I think I'm gonna try to do 8 of these and see what happens with 8. I might end up with 10. I think we're gonna end up with 8 because these can both take a little bit more. Just fill up the bins as much as you can. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put these in the oven. I'm gonna let them go for probably 20 minutes because they're going, and I probably am gonna have to flip them over to do a little bit longer because I do wanna make sure that they get crispy. Now, if I had done them a little bit thinner, and used like all 12, they would have been a little bit thinner. So we're gonna see how this comes out. Again, this is another one of my experiments. I have not tried this before. I've done it with just the potatoes, but what I'm probably gonna have to do is take them out and then air fry them just to make sure that they get really crispy because I want them cooked all the way through. I don't want them soft because I want them to be like chips. So that's what my plan is. I'm gonna throw these in the oven. This is just about done, and as soon as it cools off a little bit, I'll show you the next step for making these into the waffle fries. My barbecue potato chips are in the oven. These are the potato with the jalapeno cheddar poppers What I'm gonna do with these, I'm gonna cut them into strips. And I just kind of follow the little lines on the waffle. You do it however you want to. I have 2 trays because I have 2 trays that I can use in my actual air fryer. So I've got 1 tray, and then I'll cut up my other one. Then I'm gonna pop these in my air fryer at 375, and I'm gonna let them go for about 6 minutes, and then I probably will shift them around a little bit and then cook them for a few more minutes, and then I'll come back and show you how they are nice and crispy like little French fries. My fries are out of the air fryer, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna weigh all of them together, and then I will take off half, just because I know that my second waffle was bigger than my first waffle. So because of that, so I have my plate on my scale, I have my scale zeroed out, and I'm just gonna add these to the plate. And that weighs 2 3/4 ounces, so I need 1 3/8 ounces per fueling. So what I'm gonna do is just take off until I get to 1 3/8. That's 1 3/4, that's 6/8. 1 5/8. Let's see. 1 3/8. So this is 1 3/8. Let me just measure my other one just to be sure. This should weigh 1 3/8. Always double check yourself to make sure, because you want to make sure your fuelings are equal. There we go. 1 3/8, 1 3/8. These are my 2. These are going to make 2 fuelings. Listen to this. They are very crispy. And since I'm not going to eat them right away, they'll each go into a baggie. I probably will have one this afternoon as one of my fuelings. The other one I'll probably save for tomorrow. And I will probably stick it in the refrigerator, because if you're going to keep something for more than 12 to 24 hours made, it needs to go in the fridge or the freezer. And then I'll probably will just pop it in the air fryer for like a minute when I get ready to eat it, just so that they're warm. These are great. If you eat condiments with your fuelings, I do not, but if you do, you could do a tablespoon of sugar-free ketchup to dip these into. Again, these I made with the potatoes and the jalapeno cheddar poppers, but you could mix the potatoes like I did with the barbecue crunchers or the Italian herb crunchers. They work really great as French fries. So I hope you'll give this one a try. I will be back shortly. Won't seem like any time at all to you, with the barbecue potato chips that I'm working on as well. These smell incredible. They smell very barbecue-y. They're definitely not crispy yet. So what I'm going to do is I am going to take all of them and just flip them over in the pan and see if I can pop them back in the oven for a little bit more time. That one's definitely really soft. This is what happens when you do an experiment. At least this is not live TV. A couple of these are a little bit softer. I'm going to struggle with them a little bit and pop them back in the oven for another probably 10 minutes and see what they're like when I take them out the next time. These will definitely also benefit from a thorough air frying because they're still pretty soft. But if you like potato nuggets, that might be a good way to do this. Oops, let me do this first. Turn my scale on. Let me weigh them to get an idea of how much we're talking about here, since everyone probably has a different amount in it. So I've got 5 ounces exactly, so I want 2.5 ounces per. So there we go, that'll work. So each one of these is 2.5, 4 little things, and probably what I will do is just go ahead and air fry these again before I eat them, so that I know that they're crispy. Or if you like them softer, because you can see that they are pretty soft and flexible. Some of them are a little bit harder than others, but a good air frying will solve that. And I think the next time that I do this, because I will do it again, I think the next time I do it, I'm going to go ahead and do all 12 and just put less in the each one of those little things to make sure. This is also a combination that you could do as the crackers that I've done before, where you mix it up, just don't mix as much water into it because you want it really thick so that you can roll it really thin. But this would make like barbecue potato chips if you did it like that. So do it like one big sheet, flip it over, don't bother cutting it up, and then just break it up into chip pieces. That would be really good too. So these are my two ideas that I have for you for how to deal with the cheddar herb crunchers and the barbecue crunchers, the smoky barbecue crunchers. Let me know if you try them. If you've got some other ideas, I've got some more fun with Fuelings in the works, some sweet and some savory. So check them out. I have also organized all of my videos into specific playlists. So if you just want to watch Fun with Fuelings, you can go to that playlist. I've got a lean and green playlist. I've got a reality check playlist. And I've got one where I've got more of my weight loss tips, organizational strategies, things like that for the program. More coming soon, and if you've got some ideas, throw them my way. Please take a moment just to give me a thumbs up on the video. Let me know that you like this kind of content. Leave me comments, and if you haven't subscribed, please do that. And until I see you next time, please live in the light.